Hello, everyone. It is a deep pleasure again to always spend time with you. Always. I've never in 43 years lost my excitement in the raw and in the herbs and seeing people get well. It's a special field. All of you are seeing that because you're coming up against so many different attitudes and viewpoints. And because there's so much out there in terms of propaganda and misinformation, that people take that on and believe that and then fight you over it when they don't even have a clue to what they're fighting over. So that's some of our problems as healers, is putting up with the different states of consciousness out there that some have been greatly warped with allopathic pharmaceuticals. Anyone that's on extended periods of hormones and steroids, you'll start going wacky. Particularly steroids for inflammation, not only a deadly practice, majorly shuts down the endocrine glands, but can send you to Hellville in your emotions and in your mind. And so many people we talk to, I tell you what, if medical doctors had to clean up their own messes, they might learn a lot, because we're always cleaning up the medical doctors' messes. And they come in here real bad, ratted out, been on pharmaceuticals for years, adrenals slaughtered basically, lymph nodes removed, lymphodemas from that, all kinds of bizarre surgeries that really was not necessary or ineffective, things like that. There's the good. There's the ERs that are good. There's also bad ERs, but there's good ERs. There's great surgeons and there's lousy surgeons. There's great naturopaths and there's bad naturopaths. There's good osteopaths, and so it ranks in every field. It's the focus of the field that's important, and what the procedure or the focus is, and how that's relative to the health of the person, and how that can increase the wellness and rebuild the person's tissues. And none of that is true. So putting the allopathic community in the place it belongs is essential, so we can come in and show the truth. You know, the domination of narcissism with the allopathic community is well known. And the thing is bad karma for them. And they don't, these souls need to find their own freedom themselves. So we all need to start working together, allopaths as well, and break that chain of bad karma that's coming. And if you're an oncologist, I would get out of that field real quick. I think things are coming to you guys you are going to regret if you don't get out of there. All right. So let's talk about Q&A here, some question and answers. We got so many here that, oh my God, I feel like I'm lagging so far behind here. But we had a no-show, and I've got a couple hours I can spend with you, hopefully. This is Aloha from Maui. Hi, this is Nicholas. My name is Nicholas. I am 20 years young. I like his attitude already. I was wondering, how do I submit a question to me? Yeah, you're doing it, man. I have experienced a substantial amount of tooth enamel, especially in my upper and front teeth. Substantial amount of tooth enamel loss. You didn't put loss. It sounds like that might be the enamel has been lost almost halfway from top to bottom. I can't find much info on how to restore enamel fully, and I was wondering if Dr. Morse has any suggestion or previous experience that confirm this is possible. Oh, yeah, Nicholas. Okay, so we've talked about that actually on the last few videos, since it was mentioned that I have some implants. So even cells of the teeth are genetics, let me tell you. And I told you before, my sister lost all her teeth in her 20s, and so did my mom. They had full dentures. I really never had that. I've always had my teeth, but the dentists through the years have wreaked havoc because I've been highly acidic up here. You can tell with my white hair. And then really came white. My hair was full color until I poisoned myself with quinine. When I went down with quinine poisoning, my hair turned white as these walls. And it just really changed my chemistry. I mean, I tell you, these neurotoxins like that, they can be devastating. I never realized to what degree this side of death. And it's just major. But parathyroid, Make sure your saliva is always alkaline, even if you have to wash your mouth with bicarbonate after you eat, until you can get your lymph system draining down through your kidneys and get your interstitial fluids hydrated, which means you're going to move the interstitial pH from more of an acidic pH to a more alkaline or base pH. This immediately, of course, this is the hydration process. This starts removing inflammation and the drawing of calcium out of the teeth. Very important. But when you see it in your teeth, you know your bone, also your jaw bone and your sinus bone is probably losing tissue as well. So this is very, very important. So check your parathyroid. I would go on a parathyroid with either kelp or the God's Blend superfood, which I was shocked how much calcium that had in it. I couldn't believe it. So either one of those and take the parathyroid. On top of that, you've got to detox. I mean, there's a reason, and you will see why I say the detoxification is the golden key. Because no matter which angle you look at life, health, wellness, or I don't want to use, I'll use the word dis-ease, deterioration, sickness, however you want to call that whole gamut of acidosis and mucus and not feeling good and all that. So you've got to bring your body into this base balance, alkaline balance. And you can only do that through foods. You can't do it through water. You can't do it through anything but through foods, plus getting your kidneys filtering. Remember, we talk a lot about that. Get your kidneys filtering. Very important. Because without that, you can't remove these acids. And even teeth have pathways of elimination. Bone, pathways of elimination, because every cell does have to consume. So all bones are porous, even though we think hard. That's just bone matrix, calcium phosphorus. So we still have cells and pathways to feed them and to clean them, and we need that. You have to understand that there's two factors of life that are consistent: eating and pooping. And elimination, whether it's peeing, pooping, or whatever. Sweating, that's elimination. So we're focusing on elimination because you can't focus on nutrition and forget elimination. That's what people are doing. And yet, they're not getting, even the raw foodists are having trouble because we have to go back and fix some tissue. We have to go back, get into the body, and get these kidneys filtering. You know, I just talked to a sweetheart. She's only 38 this morning. She was on dialysis as a young girl. She had a stroke, I think, giving birth or something. I mean, ugh. And of course, someone told her to drink all kinds of water, so she's put on at least, I think, 15 to 20 pounds of water weight. You know, the recommending someone like that that's highly acidic to drink all this water, you know, the danger in that, and whoever wrote that book and whoever said that is so ignorant of acidosis that if you do that to the wrong person, you'll kill them. Because she already entered the hospital with pulmonary edema, swelling around the heart. That's from too much water consumption or too acidic, because these are the sort of things you see in the advanced cancers, which are simply advanced acidosis. You see edema. Remember, cholesterol, calcium, and edema, water. 3 anti-inflammatory or acid measures your body takes to fight, to defend, to keep these acids from breaking you literally down 10 times faster. So, very important that you move your lymph when you're dealing anywhere in the body, but particularly head, because if you're losing your enamel on your teeth, what's going on, Douglas, in your brain? Because you can't just lose your teeth, you're going to be losing other tissues. And so real important. If you're doing citruses and things like that in today's world, if you're down in Indonesia where the citruses are sweet as honey, they have an alkaline hit. In this country, we pick in the nitrogen growth stages. We ignore the ripeness of sugars and the alkalinity of sugars, and therefore we pick them in the high nitrogen growth stages and it makes them more acidic. Because fruits do have a ripening stage to them. And that's the sugar stages, which is the alkalizing stages, the sweet stages, the stages the final stages to bring in the pudding. That's nature. And that's the way it's supposed to be. You have a growth stage, and then the sweetnesses and all the goodies come in, and oh, baby. And then you pick it, and you're ready to eat it. After that, it goes on down to the other side where fungus has a good time with it to break it down. We can use those atoms for babies, trees, whatever we want. So you really got to clean your lymph system. I just talked about this, Douglas, in a video or two, but you can use baking soda, aluminum-free baking soda, wash your mouth out. You might want to hold your mouth with Hillel tea and get your gums cleaned up. But if you want to take the only other recommendation would be the superfood blend with the parathyroid. You're not going to get any calcium anywhere else. It's the usability of calcium, and it's also the alkalinity or acidity of the mouth, the saliva, subcutaneous, this inside the gums, inside the teeth, everything. There's pathways. So the same thing applies. You lose in an acid medium, and you win predominantly in a base medium. I mean, it's simplistic, but basically that's how you look at that. So carry on and go after that, my friend, and get those done. But see if your mom and dad had genetics in those areas, and you'll see that it's just going to take you a while to rework those teeth. I would probably do some green drinks a couple of times a day too. And I would use, of course, your parsleys and your cilantros and your dandelion greens if you can get them, your spinaches, maybe a little bit of carrot and beet, and you might help that way. But dark grapes will really keep your mouth alkaline. Very alkaline, and that's really the best thing to clean the mouth and to clean the body. The juices won't, but not like you would like. But the grapes will, and it'll keep your mouth alkaline. So you might want to put yourself on a little grape fast. The problem with jumping, guys, from Hellville toward Wellville is going too fast. And I'm the type of person that likes to cut through the chase, cut the fat off. Let's don't waste time going around the corner. Let's go in a straight line, point to point. Let's don't, because people play, and I'm not into those things. I don't got the time. Let's go from go to straightforward. But remember, I told you the story of my first client, who was a female from New York who heard about this yoga ashram in the Bahamas, and they offered a 2-3 month fasting, fruitarian lifestyle, blah 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 blah. So it sounded really good, and she went down there and did it. And then she came into my office, and no fingernails. All her fingernails fell off. And I said, she came in and showed me her fingernails. I said, what happened to your fingernails? She didn't tell me the story. And so I was young as a naturopath. I mean, what was it, 1972 or 3 or something like that? So I was thinking, I said, you know what you did? I said, you were eating a standard diet, American diet, right, before you went down there? She said, yes. I said, you jumped in too fast. I said, you always had kind of weak fingernails, right? A little brittle, weak and soft and maybe some ridges. She said, yeah, I've always had bad nails. I said, that's what happened. When you start this program, inferior muscles go, fingernails can go. If you go real fast, the body's going to dump what it doesn't want. But you have to realize it's going to rebuild that. Now, it's hell to think about teeth doing that, and that'd be freaky. I mean, we're at the cusp of a brand new understanding of how the body works and what one has to do to live in Wellville. And what you guys put forth and teach and learn in the future is everything to this level of creation, I have to tell you. Because man is... and maybe he should terminate himself off. He's a very violent creature. But I think man's only violent because he decided to consume meat. Islanders are not near violent like the Northerners are. Islanders are much more laid back. When I first came back to Florida, it was so laid back down here. Islanders were really laid back. Meat is what makes you aggressive. There's been so many studies done with that. I'm surprised people don't remember that. All the aggression, the studies have shown, the violence, that sort of thing, and that's why I just had a 90-year-old vegetarian come in here, saw Marcy because I was too backed up. He had a little bone marrow cancer, but 90 years old, and he's white and he walked in here and looks pretty damn good. And I'm thinking, my God, it's rare to see a white person in their 90s that are spry and look pretty good, you know. So he's from Canada, but he looks pretty good, you know. All right. This is Marcelo. Hello, my friend. I really need your help, and I would appreciate it indeed if you could answer my question. Absolutely, man. I have done what I have found on the internet, but nothing worked for my case. I took medicine for years, but they were making me sick, so I stopped taking the tablets prescribed by the doctor. I've been on a medical doctor, right? I've been on a raw food diet for about 2 years now, although I have lost weight, 2 years free of cold or flu, cured all my allergies. Now, let me back up real quick here. If you get a cold and flu-like symptom, you're going to see a smile from my ear to ear, and I'm going to be celebrating with you that your body now is purging at a level that is greater than what you could do with just eating raw and taking herbs. Saves you a lot of money to have healing crisis. I hate to tell you, but and a lot of time. That saves a lot of time and a lot of money having healing crisis, especially cold and flu ones, because they break loose the sinuses, they break loose the bronchial and lungs, and that is a major deal. It really is. So, cured my allergies, aches, and feeling healthier than when I was young. Isn't that neat? I love that. You know, pretty damn bad when you're older and you're feeling better than when you did when you were young. Oh my God. I still have one thing that could not cure. It is my toe fungus nail. Fungi nail. Although I have cured all my allergies, aches, etc. with raw food, my fungi nail is getting worse and worse. The way the fungi is doing, it will take all my entire toenail soon. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you probably might not want to know this, Marcelo, but that same thing is all through you, probably. That's the problem. When you see one place, you might as well realize it's all through you. So here's the gig. You can take Parasite M, probably recommend some large amounts of that. Probably a dropper full about 4 to 5 times a day. Now, you can bathe that foot in Heal-All tea and Parasite M, add to that tea, and you can bathe your foot in there and let that absorb in and try to get a local kill. But this problem is systemic, my friend. So you've got some work to do because it is the lymph system. We're back to that system. You'll see why as you view these videos and think about it through these years, just how important that lymph system and the kidneys are to what we're doing. And we are the ones that are shedding the light of God on truth here. And that's just has to be. And we now have college professors backing us, and it just makes sense anyway. Common sense. So, you've got to clean your sewer system up. Now, go back to 2 things, I think, why you see 3 things, actually, why you see excessive fungus in people. 1, weak adrenal glands, low sugar metabolism, which will come with low blood pressures, and therefore you're going to see low sugar metabolism. It's hard enough, and then you start moving from hypo, which is hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, to hyperglycemia, which is type 2. And you're going to see, it's not a disease, it's your adrenals, it's weak adrenals that are not producing enough steroids for you to have proper sugar metabolism. So then we decide to eat starch. In comes complex sugar. Hell, we're having a hard time fighting simple sugar, but not you have to have it, but with weak adrenals. Then in comes complex sugars. And you breed fungus like crazy with that. And then, of course, the breads are already fermented. The cheeses are already fermented that people eat. So people eat fungus all the time in their foods. So it's just amazing. And you just are breeding that sort of thing. The third thing I see, of course, is sulfur. Sulfur, you're talking about major fungal problems. Now remember, with you, Marcelo, and everyone else with this high fungus, fungus leaves uric acid crystals. Not good. Those are little pinpricky acids. I think they're probably more 2.5, 2.6 pH as opposed to, let's say, 3. Maybe 2.7. I'd like to find out someday. Could you please help me? I will do whatever I have to do to get my toe free of this. I would, because it also, Marcel, representative inside you, head to toe. and it's not good. You can get so much fungus in you that you can't remember your name. You can't remember where you parked the car. Almost like you had dementia or Alzheimer's. You just, it's that bad. So you really want to take care of this and get this out of there. So you're going to have to go through the detox because you can do a fairly good kill with the herbs, but never complete. When it's that bad, the only way I've seen it get a complete remedy is move the lymph with it. The only time I've seen where it never comes back and it's a complete remedy is to clean your lymph system with it. And that requires getting the adrenals up, which will improve your metabolism of sugars, and it'll also means getting your kidneys functioning. And then you won't die from kidney failure like everyone else is. See, so it's so positive every way we look. So you do well, Marcelo. P.S. If you need more information about my diet, etc., please let me know. I will do. No, it's not about diet, except for you don't want to do complex sugars like grains and potatoes and things like this, and cheese and anything. That's probably what you're craving. But it's enough to say, use the herbs as a kill, but you've got to get the lymph system out, cleaned and filtering before you're going to have a complete parasitic kill. Raw foods will never clean the fungus out of you. I'm sorry. People have tried for years to do that with just raw foods. But that's why God has the herbs. Even natives, everybody has always turned to the herbs for their wellness, for their pharmacopoeia. Always, everywhere, in every culture. What does that tell you? It's only the natural hygienic people have their heads up their butts when they think herbs are poisonous. What? I mean, that was the one thing that I was disappointed with natural hygiene and that group. Because what a bunch of crap and lie that was. These are theories that they believed in, I guess. But not a good one. Because man and animal alike has been using botanicals for their healings for the crack of dawn. And to think otherwise would be stupid. Because it's factual. Look around. Well known. Oh, Jose. Hi, Jose Riba. Oh, nice to talk to you, my friend. I am interested in the information about herpes simplex for a friend who has cold sores in her lips. She was taking a lot of sun, and this may have something to do with it. Well, the sun didn't create them. Now, these herpes simplex, these are virals, but virals are antigens, and so the problem is the medium. When she's in the sun, that's acidic. And if her interstitial fluid in the gums or anywhere, gonadals, anywhere, when you're highly acidic, it brings out these virals. Because as cells are damaged, these virals are attached. So that's the problem. So there's only one way I know. I mean, I look at herbs and there's antivirals everywhere, but I'll be honest with you. These are proteins. I do not see any herb or anything that can clean viral loads out of the body, in my opinion. Now, maybe they are and I don't know it. I've always used detox to do that. These are proteins, and I think that these proteins need to be detoxed out of the body. Not like a bacterium or a fungal, which you could use a herb for that. Virals need to be detoxed out of the body. And there's not a viral load you can't detox, whether it's HIV, whether it's Hep C, doesn't matter. These viral loads can be detoxed right out of your body. That's the only way to get them out. I don't know of any other way to do that. And the same thing with the herpes simplex. But it's also the same thing with genital herpes too, guys. It doesn't matter. That's prevalent all over. Remember, pharmaceutical companies. Half of what we're suffering with, born out of that idea. And of course, also, there's been a little bit of some playing going on in the military, particularly on Bethesda Air Force Base, don't we think, guys? A little bit of germ warfare stuff. Warfare. There's a good book. Let me grab it here real quick. And this would be a good book for you to get. And it's The Merging Virus by Dr. Horowitz. Very thick book. A very good book. And hard to dispute some of the facts and stuff that he uncovered. So, Anyway, detox is how we get to that sort of thing. Let's see what else. Let me see. Also eating pineapple. Exactly. Here's another thing. She's doing everything. The problem with pineapples, you have to get them really ripe off the plant to where when you bite into it, you start getting high from the sensational flavor that a pineapple has ripe off the plant. If you buy these green pineapples in a store, you're going to lose your teeth because they're too acidic. But it's not just that it's a fruit. Anything acidic breaks down tissue, guys. Anything that's acidic. Doesn't matter. Vegetables are the same thing. Most vegetables are not acidic, but there are some, and there are some acidic fruit. They're not all acidic. So, it's being common sense and using proper common sense when you're talking about things, but I've seen that in my own clients, and I tell them to eat fruit, and I try to remember to tell everybody to be aware of pineapples, kiwis, and things like this that are unripe, pomegranates, because it's too acidic for the mouth in an already acid mouth. See, the problem is most people are highly acidic. That's why dentists are having a heyday. We're all too acidic in the mouth. Oh, we're also too acidic in the brain. This is our lot. We've come out of the darkness, and you guys represent the light. So we have to represent the light. As long as I'm here, I'm representing the light and God, no matter what. Because that's the only survival this planet has, is when those people represent the light that are aware of it. Because without that, the darkness consumes. And it's just the way it is. That's why you're essential. I can't say enough about it. And this is why there's Master Chela syndromes. That's why God has its little, the silent ones. It has all kinds of little beings that we like to run around and do things, isn't it? So there's a lot of things going on at all kinds of levels here, and you're one of those things that are going on, and that is to awaken and bring that light into the darkness here. Essential for it to wake itself up. When you can sleep so good you forget who you are, you need somebody to tap you on the shoulder. So imagine God creating endless parts of itself, each with the ability to tap itself on the shoulder and wake up at any given time. You can go out crazy with that. Okay, Jose, let's see what else you got here. Which, as we know, not necessarily is ripe nor organic. And that's the thing. Even if it was organic, Jose, if it's unripe, it's still acidic. And it's still going to hurt the mouth, and it's going to bring forth herpes. I have them, and not anymore, but I used to growing up. And the more acidic it come out and hurt so bad, I go, what the hell was that? Matter of fact, this was years and years and years ago. And I was a raw foodist, and my sister was down from Indiana selling Christmas trees. And she had a big Thanksgiving dinner. And I thought, well, God, she knows I'm raw. I don't want to be rude, but, and I just had a weak moment too. So I just had a little bite of turkey. It was just a little bitty piece. 4 large canker sores, or whatever you wish to call them, herpes, came out in my mouth and lasted they were so painful I couldn't believe it. And I was right in my face about what dead animals do to you and how acidic that was. And they hurt. And it shows you that coarse, it's not just about acids too, it's about vibrational frequencies. And there's frequencies that are in harmony, and there's frequencies obviously out of harmony. But the question is how to address this virus to eliminate it. Detox, Jose. Just like your wife was doing. Jose had a beautiful wife, and she gave a huge run. Very advanced case. So Jose's got a lot of experience and awareness behind raw foods, and the importance of those of you to get on them and to move your lymph system. This gentleman can be well qualified to say, you need to do this. And this is true about this lady too, Jose. This is highly contagious. Yeah, absolutely. Herpes, but I can tell you almost unequivocally, most people have herpes. Thank you, pharmaceutical companies. I know there must be some way of the body to eliminate this virus once. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. But it's called detox. The only way your body can eliminate anything, heavy metals, you can do the treatment of chelation therapy and stuff like that, but do you really want to put man's chemistry in your blood? Do you really want to walk down that road when that never ever gets it because you're only playing with the blood? So you have another system here 3 to 4 times larger called the lymphatic system that you're not chelating. What about that one? And you're spending $100 each chelation therapy or something like that. You know, it can add up. So, wouldn't it be better just to detox what you have to end up doing anyway? You have to get into that lymph system and detox it out. And there's just no other way around that. There's no magical way. Maybe in the future we can have a crystalline-driven device that will, set properly, will tear apart the structure of toxins and things. We still would have to deal with the byproducts of that. See, so any way we shake this, detoxification is the golden key that allows you to get this stuff out of your body, whether it's mucus, whether it's tumors, which is mucus, or full of it, same type of sewage stuff, whether it's virals or fungus. It doesn't matter. This is the golden key, and it's the key nature uses. God set it up. We're just looking. Oh, good. Oh, that's how you do it. Good question there, Jose. Love you, man. This is Alex. Hey, my dear doc. Sorry again for my English. Who cares? I can't. Listen, people have got me for my English too. Remember, farm boy. You know, when the English class they made us take. Remember that old saying, men are math and science, women are English? And I just had a lady in here, we were talking about this. Yep, I'm in English. I like English and spelling and all that kind of thing. I'm going to literature. Someone said, oh, I do now. But not a farm boy at 18, 16. I'm a musician. I'm in a band. I'm working my butt off. I don't want to go. I don't want to take French. I don't want to take typing. I'm not going to, I didn't see myself in that way. What do you think about some special skills like perfect pitch, electric memory, super calculating mind? I think that's incredible. I think, therefore I am. No. It's I am, therefore I think. So as I am and I'm thinking, I'll say this. I think that mind has, when you see the massiveness of the universal mind, that's where you get cosmic consciousness experiences. We've talked about this a while back, and for some that probably don't know what that means, but in Christianity they call it Christ consciousness. And it's just that it's where all life comes. In creation, this is where life comes out of, basically. So it's a oneness of all life there. And I've talked about that experience before. Extreme. But it really will change you forever. You will then awaken more and more and more, because then you see everything as God. Plants, animals, trees, books. Because we're living in the body of God. Can't live outside. So we live within consciousness. And one just has to understand what that means. And outside of that. But I think the mind is, you can go way out there. My sister used to get so mad at me because I never brought any books home to study from school, because school was easy for me, and so I never needed to study, and I made A's and B's. I never needed and I took bookkeeping. Bookkeeping for me was like, okay, this is baby stuff. I was done with all my homework and bookkeeping way before Christmas. I had a rest of the year I had to sit in class and fiddle my thumbs while everybody caught up, because that class, she let us go through the book at our own pace. Well, that stuff's easy, right? So I remember I took an exam for the military once, and I came back with 8th grade math, and I'm an architect. I drafting. That's how I got in the Air Force. Was and struck a deal with him, as I was a draftsman, and I wanted to be an architect. And they said, we've got an Air Force base that we need a draftsman on. We don't have one, and it's essential. Because in engineering, in the military, the draftsmen send everything to Congress to get approved. So I draw things up, whether it's a barrack or it's a light approach system or it's a bolt, and then that goes to Congress, and then we get approval or not. Blah 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 blah. So where was I going with that? I don't remember. Oh well. I know that's my mind right now saying, "Shut up." I know this is becoming quite a fantasism for people in their culture to get very powerful minds for the ego or to help humanity by becoming polymath. You see a lot of people in the popular cult like Sherlock Holmes in the movie Limitless, or in the science people that help humanity to get to another stage. Tesla, Einstein, Franklin, Da Vinci. Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, though, where did these guys, and a good example would be Edison. You know, we have Thomas Edison's home right down here. And it is well known that Edison went out of body to get his information. Well known. He had his little cot, and they said he did, just like, what's that psychic guy? Virginia Beach, Edgar Casey. Thanks. These guys got their information as they traveled within. And that's where the information is. All good stuff like that. I think balance is key here. I'm not a totally hate academics and everything like, no, nothing to do with that. I'm simply saying that you must learn to use the mind, and not 24 hours a day, or it will consume your consciousness to where you forget who you are, and you're playing in the fields of desire and thought. And you don't realize that. It's kind of like we talked about that a lot of people lose their olfactory, so they can't really smell, and they're really smelling by memory. Remember I told you when I first became a fruitarian, I started getting all this milk out of my head from years, and milk drinking growing up. And I started smelling the pine trees, and I realized I'd been smelling by memory. I wasn't really smelling. And it was nirvanic to smell. And I realized that the reason we have this level of creation is that even though we have limited senses here, they can be nirvanic. They can actually be nirvanic. Man has put himself in such a bad place that he's not happy. There's no excitement. Everything's materialistically desired. Things like that. And a good example is just on the Facebook, not Facebook, but the internet the other day. They had this Native American, and he said something like, "White man's stupid. White man get in debt. White man have taxes. White man kills all his food." He just went on and on and on about the things that we do. And I was thinking of Dancing with the Wolves, how that is. He said, we always had shelter. We always had plenty of food. We always had these things, So it was an interesting statement when you look at what our academics have done to us. We are way out there, in my opinion, academically. Not as much as some planets, but we're out there enough. We lack the spirituality behind it. So we have neat stuff. We have Dick Tracy, and we have nice modern clothes. Oh, incoming bomb, incoming bomb. Exactly. I look at the Syrian people and I want to cry. I look at all these people around the world and I want to cry, because what are we doing? What is this asshole doing to his people? I mean, this is sad stuff out there. Sad stuff. Meat eaters. Tesla was one of my favorites. There was a guy, I had a constitutional attorney one time that was really fighting the IRS too. And I was fighting the IRS. He was helping me as well. And he called me about a guy that the government just picked up under Bush. Picked him up, which is what they did. They can pick you up, don't have to charge you with anything. Don't you love this one? This is America, guys. They can pick you up, they don't have to charge you with anything, and you'll never be seen again. This guy hasn't been seen. I talked with him over the phone in some prison, and then that was it. We hadn't seen him. The attorney couldn't find him, so the government pretty much stuck him somewhere. This is the world we live in. This is planet Earth in the 21st century. So we have neat Dick Tracy devices, and we got neat little TVs and laptops, but we lack extreme spirituality. We're still involved in the heavy, because remember, duality in the mind. You have just what you said in the mind. You have progression. You have Tesla stuff. Frank, who else did you equate here? Because one of these guys, very spiritual, Franklin. Yeah, Rosicrucian, out-of-body traveler. Big part of the Constitution came out of that. There's so much that people don't know that's amazing about the truth of things, But you have the flip side. Remember, mind is in duality. You're not. The mind is. So you have the beauty, the intellectual, the academics. On the other side, you have just what you said. You have the ego. You have the greed. You have that I'm better than you because I know more than you. That sort of syndrome. So this breeds the other side. So this is the problem. These two sides need to come into balance, and the only way to do that is with love and spirituality and God. You must bring this into balance, because the heavy materialism has brought forth the dark side. If you go too far positive, you got the negative got to come up and bite your heels, because that's got to swing back to that side. Riding that middle path, Buddha, Christ, both talked about, particularly Buddha, the middle path, the middle way. The way of balance, the way of consciousness, and consciousness directing thought instead of thought directing consciousness. I don't mean to go crazy on you guys out there, but so definitely some stuff. And there's so many secret societies and groups right now out there. I mean, to tell you. For those that are not living, there is all kinds of levels out there doing all kinds of things. I've noticed that at some moments on this diet, I have so much powerful perception. See, good job, man. Good job, Alex. But it was quite glimpses. It gets better. It gets better, my friend, as you get healthier and more energy. Get this. The less energy, the chattering of the mind. More energy, the peacefulness of the mind. Look at the difference. If any of you mothers out there of raising your babies on raw, stick your baby by maybe a friend of yours who has a baby that's not raw, and look at the difference of how your child is awake and aware and more peaceful than your friends, who's hyperactive and sometimes so acidic that they're in pain and can't express it but through crying and discomfort, gas, bloating, that sort of thing. Colicky, always in a state of a neural excitement. Absolutely. You see these all the time. Huge difference. And when you start to get in these higher levels of energy, which is consciousness, which is intelligence, remember physics, quantum physics. So as you get into these higher levels, the mind quiets and the consciousness gets to see. And that's when all the answers start flooding in, and you start seeing that. Good job, Alex. This is good stuff. And this is what I'm saying. There's a lot of bonuses we haven't talked about yet, and Alex is bringing up one. The bonus of being raw and the bonus of being healthy and clean is the quietness of the mind and the awareness coming forth. It's amazing. And maybe that's why man hasn't been so raw, is to keep the consciousness down for the experience of it. I've noticed, that's good though, I love this. I know some other people are very intuitive, like mathematicians who gets new theories in their dreams. Artists that literally get their creations in their mind. Look at that pianist. I can't remember his name, but he was on, who'd he play with? I couldn't believe he played with these people. It wasn't Def Leppard and it wasn't Kiss. They were on the other night on the Grammys or something. This guy plays intuitively. And he's so good. He can make you sway in the wind when there is no wind. He is so good. He brings it, it flows through him as Ecker Spirit or the life force or the prana, whatever name you want to get it, as he opens himself up. It runs his fingers and it moves his beingness over the notes. It's incredible. He is so good. It's amazing. I would love to have him at our Atlantic seminar sometime. And really, I'd like to have some really etheric music. I'd love to get Loretta McKenna. You know, if you ask me my favorite music, it's going to be probably, God, I love them all. You know, it's hard. Like when the Beatles were on the other night, it's hard to define which Beatles song's your favorite. I have to say that My Sweet Lord and the Harrison album there is my favorite. I'm a God man, and that kind of music. My Guitar Gently Weeps. That's another one of my top favorites. But I think if I had a favorite group, it'd be Enigma. But I love Loretta McKenna. Inya's okay. You know, I like her, of course, but Loretta McKenna, she is unreal. Too bad her life mate had to die, and she stopped recording. I know she's got a new one out, but she's like a songbird. Now, get their creations in their mind by the work of muses, not by the work of the mind. Exactly. Why does our consciousness is a bit more developed, at least the mind, than the animals and plants? Well, because everything's on its own level. This is a multi-tiered, multi-leveled creation. You have so many major levels. You have major levels, which we teach you in school. We teach you the major levels, and maybe I'll do a little course here for you to show you the major heavens. And then within these major heavens are worlds of different levels of frequencies. So literally, God has life stuffed everywhere. Amazing. I can't. There's just no words for it. It's just unbelievable. And so your mind can't wrap itself around it. Your mind can't. It's a finite experience, and it just can't conceive things that are that huge, and particularly those things that would be infinite. You just can't define that through the finite mind. But everything has, with animal and plant consciousness, there is still the mind. You have memory. Plants have memory, animals have memory. You can show that these major bodies that we have, all other life has it as well, to be at this level. So there's so much to understanding at this level that you're not told, that it's amazing. But all life is wrapped with the mind and emotions and everything else. And with Christopher Bird and Tom Tompkins' book, Secret Life of Plants, with this new female college professor who is trading her plants, trading bomb-sniffing dogs out of airports with her plants because they're more accurate, starts to get to some understanding that you're eating consciousness, you're eating energy and awareness. You're eating more than just a fiber and vitamins and minerals and flavonoids and stuff like that. Oh no, you're eating a whole consciousness. You're eating a plant that has a reason for existence, and those plants, particularly the herbs, are here to help you. And they love that. That's their job, and they're here to help. They don't mind being consumed because that's why they're here. You get into the levels of consciousness beyond the human, you'll see things you never saw before. And you'll start to understand things differently. Hard to explain to the folk always, because there's so much spirituality to things and so much fun. And that's why you guys are opening the greatest door you could ever open. No matter how your struggles are, you're opening a door that you'll never, ever regret opening. You just, this is your freedom and a way to get home, and a way to get your bodies healthy, right? Some friends and plants, same way. They all have these bodies, but everything is a different tiered level, and it moves toward more self-awareness. The human is at the very beginning stages of self-awareness, and very lousy at it at that. Other beings in other places are much more aware of that, giving them much more power and control over the mind. So you have more powerful beings at different levels and places, let's just say. Some friends told me that we are just animals, but our intellect and developed mind must have some kind of utility of God created it, right? Well, most everything is cells and fluids. Trees, animals, plants, humans, cells and fluids. To the cells and fluids. Oh, this is Raj. I'm 23-year-old male. Hey, man. That's been struggling with cystic acne. Boy, how many of you guys and gals have I read this? How many 20-year-olds out there have cystic acne. Thousands and thousands and thousands. But wouldn't that be so, guys? And why would that be so? At 20 years old, at 30 years old, today at 40 years old, and definitely the teens and babies, what are we facing in terms of weakness that would be directly related to cystic acne? Kidneys. And what else? The adrenal glands. So you got adrenals and kidneys that are down. This has multiple reflexes. All your steroid reflexes. The metabolism of minerals. The metabolism of sugars. The gonadal and sexual things. You've got the neurotransmitters that run the autonomic nervous system, hence heart pumping, breathing. Of course, you get impacted by the parasympathetic side of that as well, but still, those adrenal glands are so vital to all these functions, plus running the kidneys. Remember, the adrenals are the glands. The kidney is the organ. So the glands are where everything, they're the bosses. They make everything happen. So at 20 years old, all age groups, I'll tell you, are battling this. But genetically speaking, the younger folks are gotten so beat up, I just feel so sorry for them. And this is all lymphatic stuff. Your skin is your third kidney. Well, what else would you think that's coming down the pikes with these younger people? I'd say just about every part of their body is becoming weaker, but particularly the endocrine glands. With all the milk drinkers and all the heavy bowel problems and stuff, now we have all the tumors and cancers up in the head area. So now what we have is we have bald 20-year-olds. Bald 20-year-olds. When you see balding, you know you're walking to dementia or Alzheimer's at a much faster rate. What took off the hair? The same thing that they give cancer patients, and the same thing that causes cancer. Acids. And what system in your body deals predominantly with acids? Blood. No, not at all. Lymph. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, he took Accutane. Well, you know now Accutane is considered a bad drug, so definitely dial in the number and see if you can get it on a little payment back from a pharmaceutical company who decided to release something like that. It'd be interesting to know if the FDA approved that one. Then we could, these people need to be put in their places. The same with the FDA, you know. For a month, and my liver enzymes were dangerously high. That's why. Yeah, that just ate up people's livers bad. And my hair began thinning. Oh, my God. I tried a few juice and water fasts, but my weight dropped dangerously low. I became emaciated, became losing chunks of hair, and could feel my liver swelling. Oh, my God, man. Raj, that's not good. I'm naturally very thin, and my metabolism is very high. So how can I detoxify without losing too much muscle? I don't think you can. I really don't think you can, Raj. I think you need to set some time for you to go through this where you're the least exposed to the world then, and you can have some time for yourself. I'll say this, if you didn't want to do massive detox first, I would highly recommend you hit your bowels with stomach and bowel, number whatever, the GI broom, maybe a lymphatic capsule, kidney. So you want to start, but you know that these herbs will start cleaning and opening up that absorption. So you could basically stay on some salads, do your fruit breakfast, stay on a couple of salads a day, avocados, fruit in between meals, keep your muscles for a while, work on those kidney filtrations, get that GI tract fixed up so you have absorption. You might be able to save some of those muscles by doing that. We were talking to a pro bodybuilder, just answering a question from him, and that was what he would have to do. Not to lose those muscles, he would have to transition. He would have to detoxify at a snail's pace. Because just like we're talking about the lady with the fingernails, you detoxify too fast, whatever's weak, the body's going to shuck it. It's going to rebuild it, so you have to understand that and have to have faith in that, but it's going to initially shuck it because it's weak. Weaknesses are eliminated by nature. It's that simple, so just understand that. So, boy, I tell you what, Raj, you got to get on a detox. You know, get your kidneys filtered, get the adrenals up, get on a liver gallbladder formula, start cleaning out your liver, detox all any remnants of this Accutane or any chemical that's suppressed that broke down. Get upper circulation going so you can grow that hair back out. You're in 20s, you can grow that back quick. Get upper circulation going up there. At 20, I'd use Brain and Nerve 2 with that. You know, make sure my kidneys are filtering and start cleaning my head out. Because at 20 years old, you're getting cystic acne. That's so dangerous to your future life. I can't even tell you. Because with you guys, it's going to be a whole lot worse than what it was with us. You know, that level of acidosis at 20 is so destructive to cells that the future, to me, and young people like that is so dangerous. With the cancers and everything and the weakness of cells, you really want to get in there, Roger, and clean out that body and really get everybody filtering, get the bowels cleaned up, and get yourself cleaned up, my friend, because dangerous to walk around like this. And you see you already lost the hair, everything's at 20-some years old. No, you got to stop that, my friend, and rebuild yourself and get yourself healthy. Then you'll rebuild the muscles as well. But you have to fix malabsorption. If indeed you're thin and a little more energy, a suggestion would be a little hyperthyroidism. And if that's the case, by detoxifying, you'll bring your thyroid into balance. By opening up your absorption, you'll probably have a little more nicer body, more muscular, things like that. You know, it all deals in the genetics of the family tree. So look and see what they look like. But I think you'll be able to do quite well with that. But get your absorption opened up. You got to get in the herbs and things like that. If not, you got to do the fruit. I mean, you're only faced with a couple of choices of tools. We're limited with tools. And I say that, but we're really not. We have how many herbs? 5,000 recorded herbs on the planet, and then thousands undiscovered in the rainforests and stuff. We've got nectar we haven't even found yet. So there's a lot going on in that way. But boy, when you see cystic acne on you guys, you get rid of that. And that's a lymphatic problem. Check your thyroids too to make sure you're sweating. But you got to get rid of that. It doesn't only just damage and scar the skin. Just think of that inside of you. This is inside of you. You're just seeing part of it on the skin. Angela, hi Angela. Thank you for all the amazing, thanks sweetheart. I hope you guys like it. I'm trying to share as much as I can and get this all out here. You guys can put it together and take off with it and really change the world. You guys are here for a very important reason. We're not all together here for no reason. We're all meant to be together. That's the beauty of it, and it's a pleasure for me to be in your presence. You have opened my eyes to so much and have helped me heal. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, sweetheart. Love you, honey. I really thank you for that. That's what I think we're all here to do, is to help each other, to restore our health and vitality. And I think that'll translate to a greater world where we're hugging instead of shooting, you know. I have a friend who has just been diagnosed with reactive hypoglycemia. Not surprised. He was given a 3-hour glucose test, which I have been told is not sufficient. Yeah. It's not. You don't need to go through those sort of things to diagnose that. You can pop his blood sugar any time of day and check it and see. But if you run a little low blood sugar, that's an easy thing. Why they go through these tests and stuff? I think that there's a case of over academics where it became stupid, and then became deadly. I have been told we need a 6 to 7 hour test for it to be accurate. Who cares? Just check your blood sugar. Matter of fact, check your blood sugar when you're eating sugar and see what happens to your blood sugar. Check it when you're fasting. Get a little blood sugar checker at the pharmacy and play with it and have fun checking your blood sugar at different hours and see. But I can tell you that as a rule, and now I don't know, each country has the metric system and that, but in America, when your blood sugars, I would consider hypoglycemia at a fasting blood sugar below 70. And most labs are 60 to 65, but to be honest with you, if I see a lab and it's a fasting glucose level and it says 75, I know you're borderline hypoglycemic. You're running lower blood sugars. And again, that's adrenal steroids, that's cortisol. So you know immediately the possibility of having cholesterol problems. Remember, if cortisol can't help fight acids or progesterone, then cholesterol will. So these are some of the problems that we run into there. Do you know where I can find this test in Florida? Don't need it. Don't go through the big deal. Check your blood sugars different times of the day. Anything below, let's say 70, you can consider hypoglycemia, particularly below 65 and 60. If you get down in the 50s and 60s, you got low blood sugars. Most people, we've watched blood sugars and check them here for 50 years almost, you know. So we've watched blood sugars very closely for years, and it's funny how you can watch that. But the average person is 85 to 95 blood sugars in a good, healthy adrenal. So you want at least 85 blood sugars in a fasting state to really have a good punch with carbon. Anything below that, you're going to feel tighter, even on top of that in another way, and it's going to affect ATP production probably. Also, do you know how to cure the body of reactive? Absolutely. Doctors say it can't be. Well, you're going to the wrong people. You know, the thing is, when people say, the doctors say there's no cure for something, you have to understand that's part of the narcissism of people that can't cure anything. If we can't, no one else can. That made me want to throw up for years. Because I can't build a cabin or a house in a certain way doesn't mean there's a builder over here that can't. I have friends that built earth homes and log homes. Beautiful structures, you know. I've never built one of those, so I wouldn't be able to do that. I've built all kinds of nice modern homes, ground up. But I've never built a log home, which I've wanted to, just to do one. I'm such a wood freak. And then earth homes, of course, are real nice. And I've never built an earth home either. So you go to people that have the experience and have the knowledge of that. Some people that don't have the knowledge or the experience are too ego to tell you that. Not me. I don't care if I don't know. That's what we need to get rid of, those egos a little bit. Set them to the corner and just be honest and nice with everybody. But we got that medical ego consciousness comes to me. I think it's bred by academics. You know, you start getting a sense I'm better than the other person. I know more than the other person, and that's regurgitating. You know, that really doesn't do the person any good. Matter of fact, it holds back the soul that thinks that way. And it locks these souls that are playing the role of medical doctors, it locks them into karma as it would me as an acting naturopath. Whatever our gig is in acting, we can get caught up. And when we get caught up in these things, we get karma from them. And you can't go to medical doctors wanting a cure. That needs to be a banner that medical doctors have over their office, and they'll take off a lot of pressure. We can't cure, but we can treat. Okay. Because truth needs to be told to people so they understand what they're up against. You're worse messing with too many people, especially with the cancers. You've got, the problem here we face. I saw it yesterday. I've seen it last week. And I've seen it many times through the years. Medical doctors have people so scared that they don't go to them anymore. And that is women with breast cancers, and they'll literally, I've seen this several times, allow that cancer to eat off their breasts before they'll go into oncology because they know what they're going to get. Is that what you guys set up for the public? I mean, this is ridiculous. No one should walk with fear, and you get a poor lady with a breast that's breaking down, she needs help. She doesn't need a biopsy and then a metal clip put in her. This is another thing. I think if women started suing over that metal clip, maybe they would stop it, because that's creating a big problem for us. And then their ego. Well, they have to come to us, so we'll just put a little metal clip right where we're dead so we'll know where to go. Then you create more inflammation with the metal clip, and the biopsy, you just opened up a bad, bad thing. So now the lady's got to either do something or she's in trouble. And that's what's going on. It's sad stuff out there that we're willing to do that. And I don't know whether they're unaware of that or what's up, but we are getting way too many ladies that are letting their breasts get way too advanced because of fear of medical. And I think that's a sin and a crime right there. Man, if you're a woman and you feel a lump you get that out of there. Because I could just sit there and show you picture after picture, and if I could, I would on YouTube, and you guys would be going, oh my God. I've got some of the grossest pictures of poor ladies that have to deal with things that, ooh, I have any words. No words. No words for that. I don't believe that, as I know, healthy living and diet can cure more. You daggone right, Angela. You'd never take, when someone says you can't be cured, more properly, they should have said, I can't cure it. Maybe there's someone else out there that can. That would be a truthful statement. And certainly it'll be one from us. But when a medical doctor says no one can cure, that's not curable. That's narcissism. Any help you can give on this would be greatly appreciated. Again, oh, you betcha. Big time. Big time. Thank you, sweetheart. You got to go into the adrenal glands. And you want to make those adrenal glands healthy. But what are they attached to? The kidneys. So you got to work with those pair. You got to take an adrenal formula, either a glandular or an herbal formula, and go after those kidneys. Get that lymph system filtering. Get the adrenals cleaned out. Get all the inflammation out of the adrenals, and by enhancing the cells of the adrenal glands, you enhance the production of cortisol, which will then bring the blood sugar up into a more balanced blood sugar. Not difficult thing to go through. So, not curable. You guys have showed medical doctors their incurability. Half of you are getting all your things cured up. You guys are doing so well. It's just beautiful. I'm just proud of each and every one of you. Hello, Dr. Morse. Wasn't sure if this was where I could ask for advice, but here goes. It is. However you did it, because I don't handle that. That's another thing. I'm not a really electronic person. I would have no TV if it was up to me. But I kind of got used to the news now, and I kind of got used to the Alaska shows, and I kind of got used to the creative shows because being a musician, I just love creative arts. I love dancing, singing. So You Think You Can Dance. The Voice is coming back on. I love that one. X Factor, American Idol. Talent, creativity, joy, love, singing, happiness, art. It's all good stuff. Mm-hmm. The president of the The president of the company I work for has IBC. Caught at stage 2. Radiation, then stage 3. No kidding. I'm sure there's a stage 4 coming somewhere here. Breast remove, then chemo. And now on Sandoz, something, 1 milligram for the next 5 years. I never heard of that one. I don't even know what the hell that is. Is that like an estrogen, another estrogen suppressor, or a light form of chemo? I really care about her, but this is the worst kind of breast cancer and quite possibly could come back. Any advice? And this is Christine. Christine, you might want to put your boss to listen to this because she's in trouble. And she was in trouble when she decided to have the radiation. Because you must understand that radiation burns. Matter of fact, I was just talking to a lady today about infrared saunas, and she knows totally. Now people are starting to get worried, just what we've been talking about. The danger of isolate of radiation. And it's coming out more and more. So, this is why. Keep simple health. Don't stray into things that use machines and things, because you're walking down danger road. Danger road, that's all I got to say. Machines isn't where it's at. God, nature's where it's at. You're where it's at. Now, Christine, let's go back to the original cause of this in the first place, okay? Let's go to that side of her body, and how does the breast get its waste from all the cells? Remember, a breast is just a bunch of cells, and how many fluids? 2. Blood and lymph, interstitial. Just consider lymph interstitial. It's all one really anyway. So consider that. So you have a breast made of cells, each doing their thing. Then you have food coming into them, the blood, and lymph coming out of them. And that sewer system dumps right into these axillary lymph nodes, as does the waste from the arm and part of the head, right? So from these lymph nodes, you got bacteria that breaks down these acids, macrophages in case there's a cancer cell or a damaged cell, and then you have the kidneys right here. Not way over here to the inferior vena cava and recirculate acids in the venous system. Stupid! You go way over here, you got kidney right here. Right here. And that's an eliminative organ. And then you have the skin to sweat. And that's how you get rid of waste and byproducts from cells. So, this was a kidney problem. A kidney and adrenal problem from the get-go. So she's got to go back and fix that. You can't do anything until you fix this. And that's the problem. You can have a lumpectomy or mastectomy, no problem. But the crime of this is what they did to her. They were doing a mastectomy anyway. So for them to go in and shoot her with radiation or chemo, that guy needs to go to jail. And I won't have any sympathy for that soul while he sits there and contemplates, or she sits there and contemplates, I won't hurt anybody with acid chemo ever again. And write that on a blackboard in his cell for about 10 years, and then we let him go. How many people did he kill or she kill doing that? At the very least, it accelerates your death. Doesn't make you live. They have the audacity to say if you do chemo, you can live a few months longer. Are you kidding me? That's not even factual. That's not even statistical. The statistics show the other way. If you do nothing, you'll live longer. It's a money-making organization. Remember what the head of the AMA said too? I think it was Chris or Wally Safer, one of them. Let buyer beware. So she's got to fix this. The fact that she's had radiation, dangerous, because now you have to think lung. Just had a case this morning. Breast cancer, radiation, now aggressive lung cancer. And I've had thousands of those cases through the years, thousands of those cases. If I'm an oncologist, I'm going to see this almost every time. And I don't wake up from that, then I'm sleeping in a bad slumber where I'm totally unaware. And that's like a lunatic with an AKS in a theater. Insane. So she's got to go back and fix herself. So she's got to get on one of these programs. This is what we teach. But get her on those kidneys, the adrenals. Get on that lymph system. By the way, I'd go after the lungs with the lung formula too, because my guess is that's going to be the next wake-up call she's going to have. And what she doesn't realize is that she's allowing them to destroy the cells in her body for the sake of something they totally removed. When you remove the breast, you're removing the whole thing. There is absolutely no reason on this planet or any other planet or galaxy or dimension that you would use chemo or radiation on top of that. That just makes for more cancer. This has been in study after study, and what's going on with our law enforcement that watches this go on and on and on, allowing deadly toxic chemo to kill the people for the sake of, what is it now? I thought it was, the few shall pass for the sake of the many. Remember Spock? The few, or the one, is less important than the many. And that's what's happening here. The slaughter of our women, the slaughter of our people with chemo and radiation. Remember when Sloan Kettering was offered radiation therapy in the beginning, as the story goes, they turned it down because they said it damages tissue too much? And now you can get as much radiation therapy at Sloan as you want. What happened to man's ethics? The godliness within a person. That's what I'm saying. The mind has deteriorated and eroded any spirituality. So thank God there's you guys and those spiritual people that are behind the scenes. And there's millions of us now. But it's just, oh my God. So she's got to go back and take care of business here. She's got to get the kidneys filtering. She's got to get her adrenals up to get the kidneys to filter. She's got to get her lymph going. And she wants to clean her lungs out. And I would be pumping the God's Blend just to get some anti-radiation herbs in there. And you might want to take the radiation exposure formula a little bit. But to go on low-dose chemo like this, or even a estrogen suppressor would not be smart. Like a Rumidex or tamoxifen. So we've got a serious problem, Christine, and your friend is in serious trouble. It doesn't matter the stage, but it matters how she treated it. And by allowing them to burn her, for what reason? I don't understand their thinking. I don't understand how stupid these guys get when you think, I'm going to have some benefit effect after I remove the breast. I'm going to do radiation? What? We all know, everybody knows radiation causes cancer. How come these guys aren't arrested right now and taken to jail? Makes me sick to my stomach. These guys are allowed to get away with it. I'll tell you this. It only appears that way. Because karma is going to come bite them. And that's the problem. When you see a suffering individual, you got to remember that's karmatic. And the thing you offer that soul is to pay their dues and to get out of that. That's what you offer them. And there's some that are not ready for that. And they're going to turn away. Oh, let them go. Because they need to go down and let life frisk them around a little bit. Beat them up a little bit. Wake them up a little bit. And they will have the Johnny Appleseed planted by you guys and by us. And so that has to germinate sometimes. You know, when you plant seeds, it takes a while to germinate and set in. This is true with a lot of people. So just really realize that. Don't take it on personally like they don't like me because they don't listen to me or anything like that. Don't take that on. That's the nature of them. They're the problem, not you. You're doing everything right that you need to do to be well. You just have to work with your dialectics, your ability to communicate what you know in your head and in your mind through the physical verbiage, through the mouth here, through the human brain and then through the mouth. And this mind is so huge that's why I told you to take walks, start giving talks to seagulls or birds in the sky or trees in the forest or plants. Say, hello, my dear ones. Let me give you a little talk on health. We really appreciate you guys because you've saved so many of us. You know, learn to express yourselves with what you know, what you're understanding and what you're hearing. Learn how to verbalize that. And then each time you learn to verbalize that, see if you can make it simpler the next time. When you tell someone about health and how to get well, the next person you tell, see if you can find a way to tell them more simple. How you can draw a better picture. I still do that to see if I can come up with even more simpler ways to expose the truth. Because simplicity is a truth exposer. And so this will open up, you know, that which is. And so I always try to find a way to explain it better and more simple so everyone can understand. And if the intellectual mind needs a little intellectual feed, maybe once in a while, we'll do an intellectual video, and I'll get into some more deeper chemistry and physics in this. And I thought about that before to satisfy some intellectual minds, but I'd have to clean my intellectual spot off in there and start pulling all these experiences with chemistry out of me. But I'm going to do that one day just to help those intellectual minds feel good. Kimberly Brown. Go by my given board name, McGriffin. I like that. McGriffin. Well, Kimberly, Dr. Morris, thank you for your vids and information. Thanks, Kim. I was sent to look for them as I am a friend of a raw foodist. I have MS, which was diagnosed in November 13. Oh, you're new at MS. Good. Yeah, because the more years you deal with these, the weaker the nervous system becomes, the more problem it is. Prior to this, however, I had lost feeling in my feet, even 12 years. Oh, wow. 12 years before this. Wow. I could walk, however, but by 2012, I started to drag my left foot and eventually got a cane. Honey. I can walk with a cane somewhat, although I do have foot drop badly. My feet look like my father, who is 87 now. Well, ooh, wait a minute. What are you guys sniffing out here? I heard that. Was that you, Dimitri? I heard you guys. Yes, yes, yes. She has a strong constitution. Dad, 87 years old. Uh-oh. We're looking good now. Okay, I'm starting to get happier here. All right. Now, I can wiggle them. They're very dry. Of course, you're dehydrated, honey. And I fear the old saying, what we die from our feet up. Oh, I've never heard of that one. I have never, ever heard of that one. We die from our feet up. Never heard of that one. Well, not true, though. What can I do about this one thing and my MS? Yeah, come on in, sweetheart. Hey!
I'm going to say hi quick.
Hi,
everyone.
Hi, everyone. We're going to take a quick pause.
Hope your Valentine's was awesome.
Yeah. Did anybody give me a Valentine's? No. Hang on. Oh, that was good. Be right back. Marcy, she's kicking butt. She's getting some tough cases, and she's just getting a Parkinson's case. And I wanted to know if the way she laid it out was the way I would lay it out. And I said, absolutely. Did good. There's so many people suffering. And here's MS, of course. Sorry about that, sweetheart. But we're just talking about a Parkinson's case. And but here's the thing. Always know that the nervous system that you're predominantly having trouble with is the autonomic. That autonomic has two sides to it, sympathetic and parasympathetic, and you're using both of them when you're moving, when you're breathing. So both of them. One hooks into the central nervous system, the parasympathetic, and then you have the sympathetic hooking into the adrenal glands. Comes together right here, in the stomach solar plexus area. And those nerve ganglia go to heart, lungs, everywhere like that. And so the neurotransmitters out of your adrenal glands are key to this. And so you really have to go after your adrenal glands, sweetheart, and go after your kidneys. Get the reason why. If you haven't mentioned brain lesions, but if you have brain lesions, which is probable, then you know you have to get up here. This is the central nervous system affecting the parasympathetic side of the autonomic, the side that sends the messages. So you have to, if you have brain lesions, you know that the side of chemistry that's causing those is always going to be the lymph system and it's going to be the acid side of chemistry. That is controlled through this whole lymphatic system and the kidneys and skin, the eliminative organs to that system. So you've got to get your adrenals up and your kidneys filtering and start moving your lymph system. The other side of MS is you want to clean up this GI tract. You want to relax and conserve energy. You want some sunlight, but you have to be careful about the heat taking your nerve energy out too much, or you'll be dragging that foot even more. So the problem with neurological cases like MS and Lou Gehrig's and Parkinson's is their recharging unit that recharges the myelin sheaths through neurotransmitters, aka the adrenal glands, are weak and down. You've lost filtration of your sewer system, creating acidosis and brain lesions, and you lost your myelin sheaths and your powered up nervous system. So as you get weaker, the nerves to the muscles go weak, you start dragging. You can start twisting and turning. The cerebellum here, if it gets too inflamed, you'll lose your balance and equilibrium. And there's only one way out. And that is through that magical golden key called detoxification. Because the detoxification process is a regeneration process that regenerates the human body, which is made of cells controlled by two fluids. Thank you. So, sweetheart, upper circ, brain, and nerve. This would be if I was me. I'd be doing upper circ, brain, and nerve. I'd be hitting my kidneys with 2 kidney formulas, 1 capsule, 1 tincture. I'd be into my lymphatic system. Lymphatic formula for the capsules, 1 for the tincture. Say lymph node 3 tincture and a lymphatic 1 capsule. I definitely want to get started on the GI broom a few weeks down the road. Start cleaning more aggressively. Before you get any deeper with this, brain and nerve, upper circ, you can even increase those dosages of those up. That's going to run blood more aggressively to brain cells, and it's going to enhance brain cell function, neuron function. So all these things are key, essential, and hope you can catch a cold and flu and drain those sinuses quicker. That would be the best thing that could happen to you, is come down with a cold and flu like something. I don't know if you're neurologically strong enough to have that, but it would be great if you could, because you'll really clean out those sinuses and all that means. But you want to get moving and get yourself opened up, get all your glands up, get your thyroid. Make sure your fingernails are good. You have no depression. You have no varicose or spider veins, because this is what gland that controls calcium utilization. I heard a bunch of you, parathyroid gland, and that's essential to remember. And you want to check that, because if you're weak in that, you hit that parathyroid gland with a parathyroid glandular. I would hit the adrenal 400s, no question about that, as a glandular, and I would probably hit the parathyroid, at least 1 or 2 bottles of that with, say, God's Blend. Even though a vegetable-oriented thing, high in calcium. Might be for a short time used for calcium. I need the fruits and berries. These are the neurological, these are the brain foods, these are the adrenal foods, all the berries are all the gland foods, and those are the foods you need to eat. I would move myself to 100% raw, and then to 100% fruits, berries, and melons. Sorry, that's where I would be. And not even think twice about it. And then hit myself with herbs and go in that direction, sweetheart, and get this out of you. Get these acids out and rebuild those weaknesses. That's all it is, and you will be well. Done it many times. You've seen a couple on there, and what we've done with some paraplegics and stuff, so you'll be able to have faith in that and know that the body regenerates itself. Nervous system, top of the heap, guys, top of the heap. And that's why the fruits and berries are essential. You don't want to digest heavy foods. Anytime you have a neurological case, energy management is in your face, and particularly in their face, because as she gets tired, her foot will start dragging even more. If she gets too hot, the foot will start dragging more. That's controlled by the nervous system. Muscles are muscles. They're controlled neurologically. The neurological system controls the movement and activity of everything. And that's a big deal. And they need neurotransmitters. And that's where I'd get up into upper and lower. Adrenals, kidneys, get that lymph moving, get these brain lesions out of it, get all that inflammation out of the brain. Any brain tissue's been damaged, get the cerebellum cleaned out. And get that parasympathetic back online, get the adrenals up, and everything will be good for you. I'm telling you, you're in a good position to do this, and I would hit it hard. And there's a lot of 30 to 40-year-old MS females. It's amazing that how much MS is exploding throughout the world. And it's not the disease. There's no such thing. This is what's exploding throughout the world. Adrenal, kidney, and neurological effects from that. Brain lesions all over the place. This is all acidosis. This is all interstitial lymphatic constipation. Acidosis at its worst. Dear Dr. Morris, Susie, here in frozen Indiana. Forget that. Indiana where? I don't think I remember that. Is that a state or something? Please don't ever compare your channel to Dan McDonald's. Oh, thanks, honey. Thanks, sweetie. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. He's a student of mine. Although he is very entertaining and has some interesting information, you, my dear, are the teacher. Thanks, sweetie. I love you. Thanks for that. Dan himself says he learned from you. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yours is the channel I want to see a new video from. I do not want to miss a video posted from... Oh, I love you, sweetheart. Thanks. You know what? We're all in here together, and I'm just so happy to see all you guys. And, you know, not everything is perfect in planet Earth, but we can help to get that for the kids. For some of us that are getting older, you know, we've done our jobs, and all the things that we've done wrong, if you want to use the word wrong, or when we went left instead of right, definitely matured us and to help you guys. So I'm just trying to depart wisdom from my experiences, and they all haven't been, you know, way up there. There's, you know, I've had my hell, big time. I've came off a telephone pole about 16, 18 feet tall. Really messed my knee. I've been regenerating, but boy, still tough stuff. So I've done, I've had my hellish things and up and down. But thank you so much. Those are very kind words, and I appreciate that because, sometimes, I look at that and this, Dan's got like, 150 subscribers now and stuff, and I'm thinking, well, I hope I'm doing what you guys want me to do. Good enough. But thanks. Now on spirituality. Ooh, damn, that's my best subject. I love that one. You talk about spiritual healing. I too believe in spiritual healing. I believe the Bible teaches us that our bodies are the temple of God. Absolutely. If you want God to come in and heal us or inhabit his temple, aka our bodies, isn't it logical that we clean the temple? That's what I think. I'm trying not to get too over because I'm trying to strike balance here for those that are not spiritually minded, because in due respect, I want this available for everybody. And just because we talk spirituality, those of you that are not interested, just go on and keep listening to the health side of this. But the spiritual side is your sukkah. That's your happiness. That's who you are in reality, not the drama and the bodies and all that. So no matter how we look at it, it's important to look at what exists without a conditioned mind, without religious concepts and ideas. And let's just take a look at what exists. You can make yourself a belief system out of that if you want, or a theory out of that if you want. But it's better, just what this lady's saying, is just open the door and let God in. These are the temples. And I consider the human body the temple of the soul, and along with all the other bodies. But they're just bodies, and they come and go. This one in particular is the furthest and the most materialistic and the most chemical body of all the ones that I've experienced and been in that I know we have. So you're right on with your thinking here, so right on, that for the spiritual guys, look at it that way. We are the representatives, and we are the all that's coming down and holding our hand out with love and knowledge and wisdom to get well. And that's just the love of God flowing through each and every one of us. So it's good stuff. I like how you think. Fruits and veggies and herbs that God loves and gives us to use for. That's what I think. I think, look, these are herbs. All the animals are using them. What happened to us? Academics' mind. And remember, the Bible says the serpent came from the tree of knowledge. And Adam ate. Basically, he started thinking. Because the tree of knowledge isn't food. The tree of knowledge is the mind. Think about that. And so mind takes you away from who you are and takes you on journeys of thought processes. And that's driven by desire, emotions. It's neat when you see how it's all put together, how God did it. One driving the other. Oh, it's cool stuff. You guys are so good. God gives us his love and fills us with his love and healing through the fruits and the healing power of the fruits and herbs. Amen. I mean, that's a big amen, because just talking about that herb, that fruit was sent here for us, and it has the consciousness there for that, whether we perceive that or not. We can break it down into physics and chemistry if we want, but those of us that know more God know what that is, right? The whole train of thought came to me while listening to you speak of God force and the healing power and electricity of the fruits and... Yeah, baby! Sounds like my kind of woman. I can hardly wait for the Indiana thaw so I can begin my morning meditation again. The Indiana thaw. Whew! Again outside on the deck in the morning sunshine. Oh my God, that's nice. I want to wiggle my toes in the grass and feel the sun kiss my cheeks as I pray. I know it. You know, when that gentle wind comes across and loves you. You know, it's just... That's what I loved about Rumi and Rumi's poetry, because every single thing was God in expression. And when you see that, guys, you're in ecstasy. You're in joy. And your whole beingness riddles with love and ecstasy. There's nothing any better. And then you come here and go, what is going on here? You guys are all constipated. You're eating dead tissue. You're angry. You hate. You gossip and backbite, tear down your friends. Amazing, amazing level. I love how this lady thinks. Now for my questions. I've heard you say to use cold compresses to the back of the head to move or drain the cerebellum. Now, this might be true for this MS case we just talked about too. Cold compresses on the cerebellum. Remember, cold is alkaline. Alkaline cools down heat, which is acid. Now, like when you have inflammation, if you put heat on it, you could feel it a lot worse. Why cold and not warm? Cold is alkaline. This is already hot inside. It's already burning. That heat is produced by acid. Acids produce heat. That's where some of this greenhouse effect and all, what they're talking about, because a lot of the gases are sulfur and carbon and things. Carbon, even though base, can be acidic. So you've got a lot of acid greenhouse gases, so to speak, carbon dioxide from car exhaust, sulfurs. I mean, you got a whole gamut of pollution and neurotoxins, and most of these are acids to caboot. So we're warming up in some places for that. But like I've said, Florida's cooling down. There's no question about it. I've been here and watched the weather for 45 years, 6 years, almost 50 years, and then I started coming down. Well, I started coming down when I was a baby, so I'm 64, will be, so, quite a long time. And the weather used to be 102, 103 in the summer here all the time, get always above 100. Now it never gets above 100, and cooler here. Also, I noticed on an iris video you did that someone had a crescent moon type shape in their eye, and you call it a cholesterol plaque. Uh-oh. I've looked at my own eyes and I see these type of whitish crescent moon type plaques in my upper part of my iris. Okay, honey, then you want to get on upper circulation. That'll start moving blood more aggressively. Know that it's acidosis in the brain and weak adrenals. So your body's turning to cholesterol instead of using, say, cortisol or progesterone or some corticosteroid. I'm going to use cholesterol. So that means you're too acidic upstairs here, and you want to get this draining, detox. Pray for a cold and flu-like symptom, and really start moving that lymph. Get your adrenals up, get your kidneys filtering, and start training this GI tract so everything can kind of drain and get that out of there. And keep on upper circ until you get all that accomplished. That way it'll keep you from what I hate to refer to as people stroke with those things. And we don't want anything like that with a beautiful soul like this. I assume this is the cholesterol plaque in my brain. Yep. Send it to me. Send me a picture of it, and I'll tell you right off. I don't have a way to send you a picture. Oh, I have MS. Well, looky here. Here's another MS case. Here's Susie. Look at this. Here's two MS cases back to back. My God, I told you it's everywhere, guys. We just got to get these people well. Yeah, I have MS. Will this go away when the MS goes away? MS isn't a disease to go away. You're being chewed on by acids, and that makes total sense that you have a cholesterol ring up here, because that's where your brain lesions would be, of course, and that is definitely acidosis. You're not draining. Inflammation in the cerebellum, like you said. So cold compresses are alkaline, at least give you a little boost, All these are just little things, because really, you have to get in your body and go after this. You have to get after this. I just talked about MS, so it's a perfect slide in for you. Excellent, excellent, excellent. You want to get out of this, sweetheart. You're a precious soul here. Let's get you out of this. Let's see, the MS goes away. Or is this something else? Better yet, where can I get a picture of my eyes to send you? Try an ophthalmologist. Call around to some ophthalmologists. Ask them if you can get a 5-color glossy, a photograph of your iris. You don't want your pupil or your retina. You don't want a retina shot. You don't want drops in your eyes. You want a picture of your iris. They have some good ones. If not, try to find a high-quality cell phone or something like that. Get out of anything where the light can have a reflex on you, where you have a shadow, and just get shine a light in the side of the eye, where whoever's holding that flashlight, get a small flashlight, shine it in the side of the eye, and have them shine that light across the iris and sclera, where it brings that out, and then snap your picture. And that could be good enough for me. So just see if you can do that. is there someone who takes these type pictures? Yeah. Well, there's iridologists out there, but I always thought if you're going to be an iridologist, belly up and buy a camera. That way we can all interface and stuff. No, I'm not trying to be a smart. No, I didn't think you were. No, I didn't think you were being a smart ass at all, sweetheart. I'm doing well on the herbs I got from you. Oh, great, honey. Taking them twice a day when I remember. Remember, twice a day, minimal, and with upper circumbrain and nerve, 3 times minimal. Absolutely, sweetheart. Thank you for all that you not. Oh, thanks, honey. This is Susie. Susie, love you, honey. Good woman. But let's get out of these MS cases. This is devastating. And we have so many people in trouble here. And I got to cut off here. I'm going way over. So, whoa. Okay, here's another one. Dr. Morse, thank you so much for answering all these questions for us. Oh, you're welcome. This is my pleasure. I love you guys, My question today is about tonsils. Thank God. Thank you, babies. With all the milk drinking and all the sinus, you'd think I'd have mine out. But they just didn't go to medical doctors. Mine were removed when I was 3 years old. Are the tonsils somehow bigger or more important than the other lymph nodes? No, I don't think that at all. No. And what I'm amazed at, and I just wish I knew all the cells that were tied into the tonsils around the head and neck area there, because they definitely have some cells that feed into them. So, it'd be interesting to discover more of the tonsil effect and where it all leads to lymphedema and stuff like that. Now, tonsils grow back pretty easily. So, especially for a raw foodist, I don't know if yours grew back. Have you looked to see if your tonsils grew back? But all your lymph nodes are vital. Every one of them. Everything's vital. I mean, you could miss a spleen and miss this and miss that and have a hysterectomy and stuff, and it's like you start chopping people up when you can rebuild and fix them. It's just disgusting. Is there a herbal formula that someone without tonsils should definitely be on, or certain measures taken to compensate for their lack? Well, I'll say this. Address the kidneys and adrenals and filtration. That's key essential above anything else for any condition that might be out there. Get your lymph filtering. That is, I can't tell you, without that, progress is slow, guys. So you want to get that done. And then you can do some upper circ if you wanted to, or just plain circulation. But you really want to just work on the GI tract with stomach and bowels, lymphatic formulas. All you're doing is the body will heal itself. The body will heal itself. It just needs to have a proper pH base to do that with, and the right foods to do that with, the right chemistry and energetics, and that's what you're doing. You're changing the matrix or medium with which cells are bathed, which means that you're rehydrating and creating a more base balance interstitially, and you're fixing, of course, stagnation and acidosis and dehydration. And as you fix all those things, cells then rebuild themselves. That's a natural reason. Same thing as why weeds grow in gardens. Can't keep God out. I'm always weeding, and it's like, oh my God, I love you guys, but you gotta pick ya. Oh, I hate that. I need to live in a condo where I don't have to touch. I don't have to touch any plant, any. How does the body try to compensate for their removal? Good question. Can't say that I know. Because when you remove a lymph node, there's no compensating. I'll say this. The hope is that you'll grow new ones, and especially new lymph vessels that feed them. Nobody talks about your lymph vessels. People talk about blood vessels, but very few talk about lymph vessels. And the body can rebuild. It can rebuild new neural pathways. We've seen neurovascular pathways every day of the week. So I assume that we can get new lymphatic vascular pathways. Nobody's asking these questions out there. Just us. But then we're the ones that have the knowledge and awareness. Could it be that that not having tonsils makes the other lymph nodes in my neck be chronically swollen and painful? Uh-oh. Well, you would like to think that if they remove one lymph node, the body would reroute sewage to another one. I don't know if that's possible. I can't say. I can say this, that the same reason you had your tonsils removed is the same reason you have swollen, chronic painful lymph nodes in the neck, and that's going to be kidneys and adrenals. You're not filtering, sweetheart, and that's where I'm going to go. This is Doria, and that's where I'm going to go with this. Thank you for the question. Real important, too. Yeah, get those lymph nodes, swollen lymph nodes out of your neck. You got to get your kidneys filtering, get your bowels cleaned up, and get everything cleaned up, sweetheart, so you don't fall to something you don't want to, okay? Well, it's that time I gotta leave you, and I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed our videos and everything, and I consider us a nice family of people working to help the world get better. So my love is for all of you guys, and let's go out and help a lot of people and all have God consciousness in the meantime, where we can dance and party eternally. See you later, guys. Love you all. Bye-bye. May the blessings be.